Hi everybody. I see there's quite a bit of interest in this type of lighting on YouTube. I must admit I don't think they go back that far, but nevertheless they have got a bit of history. You either like them or you hate them. I remember when they first came out. It goes back to well, as far as I can remember, the 70s and the 80s. It may have even been before then, but I can certainly remember them about that time. And at that time they were non-electronic. They used a ballast with a starter switch. The main names in those days were Philips with this SL type lamp. The number, this is actually numbered SL25, which was the actual wattage. It was a glass cover over the double U-shaped loop. In between the loop at the base there was the ballast, and between that the little starter switch. They made a smaller version, lower wattage job, which was designated SL9. These, I believe, came out about the 1980s, but I stand corrected if I'm wrong. This was the European or the English version, 240 volt, 50 hertz. You have another one which is actually on at the moment. I'll take it apart. We remove the top. This one was manufactured by the Toshiba company. Now Toshiba goes back many years. In fact, they started life from two companies, the Tokyo Electric Company and Shibari Electric Company. They merged to form Toshiba, and they started life making carbon filament lamps. So their beginnings was similar to both the English and the Americans, with the carbon filament lamp, with Edison, with Swan, companies being licensed around the world. Well, Toshiba was the company that was licensed in Japan, and from then on they've just sort of increased in all kinds of fields. One note today is the fastest lifts, which is in a very tall building in Taipei. Those lifts are extremely fast. They're made by Toshiba. Anyhow, getting back to these lamps, with this one, if I go a bit close in, you can see the starter switch. That's the starter switch. Behind it is the choke or ballast, and your double loop, which is in fact one tube in the shape of two loops, comes back and goes to the ends. At the ends you'll see two wires going to each end, connected in series to the starter switch. Then they're wired away via the choke, which is in series. The cathodes are heated with a tungsten filament, which you can't see, it's behind the actual phosphor. Anyhow, let's have a little look, and we'll start her up. As you can see, one drawback with these, they did take quite a time to start. Alright, I'm cheating a bit, because what I'm doing, I'm actually using the variac, so I'm striking it at a lower voltage than it would normally strike, and it gives you an idea of how the starter switch works. Look at it, 2 electrodes. It's an argon discharge, being purple. They make and break, then they'll strike and the tube gets to work. There's a little bit of blackening at the ends of the tube, which normally means they have had a bit of use. Turn it down a bit so we can see what's going on behind it. Normally you can't dim these, as I've just proved. So one thing about these lights, normally they can't be dimmed. That one has dimmed a bit to show you the innards. Anyhow, that's the Toshiba lamp, and that came out similar time to the Philips one. It might have been a bit later, but it's more or less similar time. We'll plug one of the Philips ones in, full voltage, and that is also same construction as a glow lamp starter, which I don't know if we can see it. You can certainly hear it if you can't see it, and see it starting. No, it can't be seen. You immediately see the other drawback of this type was the fact they took a long time to start, and they took more juice than the modern ones which use the electronic. And this is an example of the other larger one. So these are some of the first compacts to be made. Now, also we got some of the electronic ones which are more of the modern type. This is a Philips PL electronic, 20 watt, 1200 lumens. They start virtually instantaneously. Electronic, no buzzing noise, just instant start. I'll give another demonstration. We'll turn it off, plug it in, immediately starts. Here we have an Ecotone 20 watt ambience, means it's a nice tone of colour. Made in Poland. This is Philips, 230, 240 volt, 50 to 60 hertz. It's got the CE mark for Europe and the familiar Philips name. That too comes on immediately. So this is an electronic one as well. The last one we have in this little batch was made for a store in England called Homebase. It's a similar store to the other stores that are in America, Ace and oh, what's the other name? They're like B&Q, but they're not B&Q. Anyhow, this is made in Hungary, which was possibly made by GE. I think they have a factory in Hungary. Home Depot, that's what I'm thinking of. Home Depot, but Homebase is a similar type of store we have here in England, but B and